Manny Pacquiao. Manny. Wait a minute. Terrence didn't want to fight Spence next. He didn't want to fight Spence next because he didn't want to fight Spence directly after the car accident. When they asked Terrence who he wanted to fight, who did he say? After Kell Brook, knowing that Spence was going to take on Danny, who did he say? Manny. Thanks for the super chat. Who did Spence say he wanted next? Who did Spence say he wanted next? Let me make it easy for you. Manny. Hit the Tyson bell. They both call out Manny. They both call out Manny. How do you choose that Spence is ducking? He didn't say no. He said Manny, bro. How do you choose that Spence is ducking? How do you make that choice? They both been wanting that Manny money since the beginning. Because Manny is getting older. He's about to retire. They're both rushing to him. Facts, but yes. How about this? 3 years ago, when Terrence Bud Crawford met up with Errol Spence in the hallway. Remember that? When they met each other in the hallway? Errol Spence said, here's the plan. I'm going to take on Thurman, which Thurman isn't a thing now. He said, Danny Garcia, Showtime Sean Porter, Manny Pacquiao, then you. That's what he said. Spence said in that hallway, hey, bruh, don't worry, bruh. I'm taking on Thurman, Thurman's gone, Danny Garcia, Showtime Sean Porter, Manny Pacquiao, then you. That's exactly what he said. Guess what's going on? He beat Porter. He beat Danny Garcia. Now he wants Manny, and Manny wants Spence back. And then he's going, what did Errol Spence say in his tweet? I got 2 to 3 more fights before moving up. 2 to 3. 2, I'm going to tell you the 2. Manny, Terrence Crawford. To 3, maybe Sean Porter again. Bud doesn't care to fight the top guys. Screw him. That's not the point to me, but think about it. Come on. You're just saying, come on, Biz, he's ducking. But you're not thinking. I know you hate Errol or you love Terrence, but let's stop fanboying for a quick second. Let's stop being these huge fans for a quick second and just use our brains. Errol literally said, this is what's going on. And that's what's going on. Then when they asked Terrence Crawford who he wanted, he said Manny. He told the truth, pun intended. Hit the Tyson bell. Manny money talks. Yeah. It's not ducking. It's just common freaking sense. It's common no matter how much you guys try to make it not be the case, it was common sense. Errol is with the PBC, so he was going to clear out the PBC and then fight Terrence Crawford. He's going to make all the easy fights to make, build his name to this pay-per-view superstar, beat Manny Pacquiao, pay-per-view, and then fight Terrence Crawford, pay-per-view at the end. Stop crying and panicking. It's y'all just crying and panicking, and it's right in front. I'm looking at the end. You look. You guys are sitting here. Whoever said that Spence is ducking, you guys are sitting here screaming about the end of the movie. I want to see the end of the movie. I want to see the end of the movie. And they're telling you the end of the dang on movie. They told you the whole movie all the way to the end. Errol Spence is going to go through the PBC as a welterweight in the welterweight PBC division, and then he's going to fight Terrence Crawford at the end. What's going on right now? Boop, 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 boop. They both said 2021 2 years ago. They both said it 2 years ago. Yeah, you know it's serious when a hairline comes out. Buzz sounds like a lightweight who's content at 147. Not to me. He sounds like a guy trying to be undisputed at welterweight. Content. Undisputed, there's no contentment in that. ShowBizz, I love you, dog, but if the fight don't happen, I'm going to come back and never let you forget that Spence ducked. If the fight doesn't happen because Spence ducked, come on. And I'm going to say Spence ducked. I'm not a crybaby. I'm not going to be like, oh, man, I love Spence. And I'm going to be like, hey, Spence just ducked Terrence Crawford. Here's a Tyson Bale. When I started this live stream, I said I love and respect Terrence Bud Crawford, didn't I? And I said, congratulations, Terrence Bud Crawford, for bringing your baby, Trinity, to this world. Relax. Don't panic. Don't panic. Now, here's my question. My question is, if Errol the Truth Spence takes on Manny Pacquiao like he said he would, this has been his whole journey, right on point. If Errol Spence takes on Manny Pacquiao, will Terrence Crawford take on his mandatory Showtime Sean Porter? That's the question. You want to talk about ducking and questions? That's the question. We all know Errol Spence's road. He told you. If you're going to tell me the entire movie, then okay, no matter how bad I want Errol Spence versus Terrence Crawford right now, this is what's going to happen. These the plans. Okay, this is the plan. Now my question is, if this is the plan and you're right there, you got 2 fights in 2021. The first fight is going to be Manny Pacquiao. The second fight is going to be Terrence Crawford. What is Terrence Crawford going to do? Wait? Or is he going to fight somebody? And if he fights somebody, is it going to be his mandatory Showtime Sean Porter? Hit the Tyson Bale. And I don't want y'all to make excuses for Terrence Crawford and try to save Terrence Crawford. Terrence Crawford, he ain't going to save himself. He don't need to. Side note, tell Jake Paul I said run it, Biz. No cap, funny. Open up a boxing gym, Biz. I'm just saying, he'll wait. Why? How, Terrence Crawford fans, do you want Terrence Crawford to wait or fight Showtime Sean Porter? Terrence Crawford fans, let me ask you, Crawford fans, in the war room, do you want Terrence Crawford to wait or fight Showtime Sean Porter? What do you want him to do? What do you want, as a Terrence Crawford fan, you love Terrence Crawford from the bottom of your heart. What do you want him to do? Fight Porter, 100%. Fight Porter. Fight Porter. Why fight Thurman? Porter's the mandatory. Will you fight your mandatory? And if you don't fight your mandatory, is that a duck? If you don't fight your mandatory, is that a duck? Don't call Errol Spence a duck, but want Terrence Crawford to be well preserved to only fight Spence because he may lose to Porter because y'all afraid. Don't be on that. That's your gladiator. That's your warrior. Terrence Crawford said he and Sean Porter would be a good fight. Okay. It would be a duck, bro. You want him to duck? So you call Spence a duck, but then want Terrence Crawford to be wrapped in bubble wrap? That's ducking. That's ducking. He got to fight Sean Porter and stop him like they told. Yes. He got to fight Sean Porter. Errol Spence going to fight Manny Pacquiao. Boom. Boom. And then they fight each other for undisputed. If Terrence Crawford gets past Porter. That's a big if, because Errol Spence damn near didn't hit the Tyson Bale. Errol Spence almost didn't, bro. That's just it. And let me tell you something about Terrence Crawford. That's a bad boy. I don't think Terrence Crawford's scared of nobody. Now, I don't think Terrence Bud Crawford is scared of nobody. He just got to take that Porter fight, bro. Why not Pac versus Bud? I'll tell you why. Who fought pay-per-view, Errol Spence or Bud? Let me ask you guys. Their last fight, who was pay-per-view, Errol Spence or Bud? Who was pay-per-view, Errol Spence or Bud? EJ. Spence. Who has the most belts, Errol Spence or Bud? Who has the most belts, Errol Spence or Bud? Spence. Let me ask you this. Who has the best harmony with his promotion company, Errol Spence or Bud? How are you going to make a fight, a seamless, smooth fight with a guy who has a rigid relationship with his own company? Manny is with the PBC. If I was Manny Pacquiao at 41 years old and I'm going to fight somebody, it'll be the guy who holds down pay-per-view by himself so it can be a big pay-per-view fight. I'm going to go against the guy who has 2 belts so it could be for 3 belts instead of 2. Why not make it for 3 belts and not 2? And I'm going to go for the guy that we're both in the same damn family. Hit the Tyson Bell.